I would have gone through the same or worse. Oh my God.
It's the grace, it's the grace, oh, leading my family to freedom, following Christ to the kingdom. It's the grace, yeah, it's the grace.
But you made it, huh?
Ask me why I feel great. I can feel the power of the grace.
Hey, what's up, great family? I'm really excited to talk to you guys about this subject that me and Candace dealt with and what we overcame. And we're kind of just on this series of talking about things that we overcame so that we can help you guys out. And the biggest thing we're trying to do, the big picture of all this, is so that all of us can be on the same page. And we just want to be an influence to you guys. Not only an influence, but a good influence. Everything that we tell you guys is everything that helps us to have more joy and excitement in life and be happy. And the biggest thing is just to have a life that is better. Candace is actually washing dishes downstairs. I'm not sure if you guys can hear that, but in a little bit, I'm gonna head down there and we'll talk a little bit about why we stopped smoking weed and kind of just the effect that it had on us, why we're in that state. And I'm not talking about just being high or anything like that. I'm talking about the whole time that was consumed with when we started smoking weed to the time we quit, or just anything of that nature, and how our life has been afterward. We really just want to be vulnerable with you guys and be transparent and tell you guys about these experiences that we've had and the benefits behind us coming out of it. And I'm telling you guys, if you really apply what we talked about, it'll help you guys out a whole bunch. So guys, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you guys are new, because we're really creating these videos so that people can have a chance to transform their life for the better. So I'm gonna head downstairs and let's see what Candace is up to. I think she just wrapped up washing these dishes. So let's see what's going on. Are you ready for me?
Okay.
All right, I'm coming. Are you ready for this video? You know what video this is?
Huh?
I said, are you ready for this video? Do you know what video this is?
Yeah.
Let me show you my lovely wife, if you guys haven't already seen her yet today.
This is me.
And that's our dishwasher being loud. My phone! How are you doing?
Good.
Yeah, what are you eating?
Banana bread?
Yum. Homemade? That's the only way, huh?
Yeah.
We talked about this before, off camera. We said, hey, we're gonna do this video explaining to you guys what really went down.
In our youngin' days.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about marijuana. Let's talk about it.
When was the first time you smoked?
I was probably 8th grade.
So you're about 14?
Yeah.
So
My
you're a
brothers.
little younger than me.
Yeah, my brothers. They got me high. So just really quick background on my lifestyle or how I grew up. My parents were drug addicts and my family was involved in a lot of illegal drug activities, all that stuff. So I've always been around, or I was always around, or I grew up around drugs, alcohol, the works. So for me at that age, it was kind of like a ritual. Like my brothers are getting me high in the garage, and you know, I came into the house where we were living at that time, and I think it was my dad or my mom. I'm pretty sure it was my dad. He was like, "Are you high?" And I don't remember if I was just like laughing but I was like scared, but this wasn't showing scared, you know?
Yeah.
And then he was laughing. My dad laughed. He thought it was funny. And my brothers thought it was funny. And then they just told me to go to my room. So I just like laid in my bed like, what am I doing? Like I contemplated life at that time. Like, but that was like me getting in trouble. Like go to my room. Mm-hmm. And my dad thought it was funny. What was your time?
First time
like?
I think I was 14 too. No, I was either 15 or 16, so it was a little later than yours. But I mean, the first time I smoked weed, I didn't even get high. So I was like, I didn't really understand it. I was like, I don't know why people do this. Kind of just burns your throat and that's it. But I didn't get high. And then I can't remember the first time I got high, but I just know smoking weed was one of those things to where, like, same thing with pornography. I knew it was bad, and I don't know why I did it. And the crazy thing is growing up my whole life, I always told myself, I'm never gonna do drugs. I'm never gonna smoke weed. I'm never gonna drink. I always told myself, and I being, you know, a sixth grader or in the seventh grade, I always told myself, and I knew that it's impossible that I would ever get into this. My parents are good parents, and my life was like kind of polar opposite to Candace. So my parents were good parents. They were great parents. They raised me up in the way that I should go. And I just fell into it. I had influences around me in high school. I had friends that were friends at the time that smoked weed. I didn't even know they smoked weed until one day they were just doing it, and then I just got caught up in it. And the whole process of it, it was kind of a weird process. I didn't smoke weed for long, but I know during that time, it was just really weird. I didn't feel like myself at all. Even my brother will tell you, Chandler, through that whole process of when I started smoking weed, he was like, this isn't even Chase anymore. So it was hard to go through that and be a different person and not even be who I was anymore. At that time, it was kind of, I lost my childhood because I was, 15, 16 years old, and thinking that I was able to do this thing that really I wouldn't even do today. It's not an age thing, it's just, it's not me, and it's not who I was. So it was weird that I got into it. It was just, I was in a stage of trying to experience different things and try new things, which led on to other things. And yeah, I said the biggest thing out of all it, I wasn't myself. And that's what I got out of it. And I hated not being myself. And I just always thought about my parents, and I'm like, my parents wanted to prove this. And I just felt that I was always, at that point, being a, I would say, disappointment to my parents.
See, mine was different.
Yeah.
So it was like when my parents found out or they knew about it, they didn't really react. They didn't really have like a disappointment in me or anything like that. Or they didn't disapprove of it. They thought it was funny. I think it's different. Like you said, our lifestyles are polar opposite. Like I remember being in the 6th and 7th grade drinking with all of my like older people, like high school people, and you know, older family, and it being okay. And I didn't see anything wrong in it. I wasn't really aware that it was bad or that what I was doing was wrong, because it's like if my parents allowed it, it was kind of like this thing, like if you do it at the house, it's okay type thing. So it's like I grew up like that all the time. So I tell people, you know, I was in the 6th and 7th grade drinking and having parties, and I look at our son now, and he's in the 7th grade, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, he's an angel compared to what I was. And it's not that I was being rebellious or anything. That's just my lifestyle, or the lifestyle that I grew up in. I was exposed to all of that at an early age, and I didn't see anything wrong in it until I got older, until my parents got really addicted to other harder drugs, where it affected our life and our lifestyle. So that's when, like I told myself, I was like, I had some, excuse me, I had, you know, smoked weed, and it wasn't something that I became addicted to or anything like that. I think the only thing was I drank, but it wasn't like heavily or crazy to where I can say, well, I guess you could say it was an addiction. I did drink, but it wasn't like crazy drinking. But as far as like drugs, I told myself, you know, I wasn't going to be involved in any of that. I wasn't going to get hooked on it. I did it socially here and there growing up. Like when I got into high school, it was something that it was like a social thing. If somebody was doing it, it would be like, okay, cool, let's do it. But I can tell you, like it was never something that I saw wrong until I got older, and I saw the effects that it had on your life and your body and your health and everything, that it really is a problem. So that's when I was like, I'm not doing any of this anymore.
It's interesting coming from like two different perspectives.
Yeah.
Because I know, like every time I did it, I knew I was doing something wrong. Like I shouldn't be doing this, but I'd still do it. And yeah, it was one of those things where I'd do it and I'd regret it. And that was like a lifestyle that I lived for such a long time at that age, from maybe like 14 to I would say 18, to where I would just do something and I would like completely regret it. And that's not even the reason why I stopped smoking. It was just, I didn't feel myself, like I said, and I just felt like I was a disappointment to my parents. And obviously there are things that your parents say that they say it just because they're parents, but then there's some things that your parents say that most of what your parents say is really good stuff that you should apply and, you know, take to heart and actually do these things, especially if you know that they love you and they know they have your best interests at heart. But yeah, it was something I struggled with. And then there was one kind of experience that I had that I was just like, all right, I'm done with all this. And it was when I was in high school that, I mean, I really didn't finish because I smoked in college as well. And then I actually quit in college. But there was a time in high school to where I just felt like so ridiculous because I ended up skipping class. And then I got high. And then I was like, this is so dumb. I can't go back to class like this. Mm-hmm. So I went home. My mom was home. And then she didn't think anything of it. I'm sure she knew. But I was like, I'm really tired. I'm going to go to bed. And it was like 2 o'clock. Like, how dumb is that? And I just felt so out of place. And just thinking, like, I think that was the first day of my senior year. Like, I skipped school and smoked weed. Like, wow, my senior year, you know? Mm-hmm. So I was like, I really didn't care at that point. And I was really becoming a person that I didn't want to be. And to look at who I was then, it's just weird to see how far I've come from that person. And it's just making those little adjustments that really got me to where, you know, not only where I'm at, but where I'm going.
Right.
And yeah, I just remember being a disappointment, not being myself. It was a big thing.
Mm-hmm. And I think for me, looking back is, because I can say for for a long while, my entire family was dealing with, and some are still dealing with drug problems and addictions, and where it's detrimental to their health. And, you know, my dad and mom had both been hospitalized because of their addiction. And for me, it's like looking back now, I can say that just by me saying, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to, you know, smoke weed or become addicted to something, because I can see the effect that it has on your life. Like I can see like where I've literally just transformed my life, because I can see where I could have been. Yeah. Like I could have been addicted to even stronger drugs than weed. I could have been on meth. I could have been on coke. Like I could have been on all these crazy, really harsh drugs. I could have probably been selling it, or, you know, been someone that was homeless on the streets because they're an addict. Yeah. And that could have been my life if I didn't choose to not do it, and if I didn't have faith in God, you know, to get me through it. Because I think a lot of it's like I wasn't really aware of, I didn't really have like a strong relationship with God growing up. I did go to church. I grew up Catholic, so I was in the church a lot, but I didn't really know what it meant to me. But I really feel like through it all, God was carrying me and allowing me to get to this place where I'm at today. Because, it would have been bad. Mm-hmm. Like I can look back and I can see everything that my family's been through, and I would have gone through the same or worse. Oh my God.
What? Don't cry. Don't cry. But you made it, huh? Yeah. Need some tissue? All right.
I'm gonna grab some.
I can go ahead and wrap this up. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Well, that pretty much explains everything. That kind of really just ties everything in, to show how serious this was to us and how much we know that it impacts you in such a negative way. And yeah, we really just hope this video helped you guys out. And we didn't really expect this, but yeah, we're gonna enjoy the rest of our day. And we're just super thankful. We're thankful to God. We just keep having faith in God, and we just keep believing. And we know that we succeed in everything that we do. And we already have the victory, not everything like that, obviously, but we just keep pressing towards where God wants us to go. And we're just excited about the future. So hopefully you guys are too, but we'll see you guys in the next video. We're just gonna hang out. Hopefully you guys hang out too. Hope we love you guys. See you next time.